Greetings all, it's Blue Knight, and welcome to the finale of Ratchet and Clank. Previously, we came to Velden when we learned that Drekked had a weapon called the Deplanetizer that he wants to eliminate our whole planet with, and we can't let that happen, everyone. So today, we're gonna continue along Velden to see if we can find the Mad Chairman himself, or as the game has been calling at this point, the Ultimate Supreme Executive Chairman Drekked. I think that's how it goes. And holy moly, look at all these enemies. Our transports are blowing elite guards up the wazoo here. You can fire off at them, but you're practically asking for a death wish. They'll take you out via firing squad, uh, dealings, I guess. It's kind of hard to say, via firing squad. So, like I say, you can't take them out head on, but that's asking for a death wish. So instead, we're gonna use this hydro displacer here. Yes we are. To fill up this little pool. So we can go across that pipe. Don't have to worry about oxygen anymore, thanks to our O2 mask. And we'll speed things up marvelously with our hydro pack. We go up here. And this should take us to... Okay, not through that. We don't want to see the camera go through that. But this little pad, which, as the prompt says, we can once again transform into our giant robot size Giant Clank. Now those transports and those guards are nothing more than pesky insects to us once again. It's just like back on not Kotaru, Core 2. I'm just gonna use some missiles to take these guys out first before I go a bit up close and personal. There's no more gold balls and skill points we have to collect in this game at this point, since I've already acquired everything that there is to collect in those two aspects. So we just gotta complete the game at this point, i.e. finish the main story. There's also a bunch of Horitoes here that you can just step on. Not like there were any danger to us from the start of our adventure.
Hey! What the?
Imbeciles! After all the trouble you've gone through, you're about to die right where you started. It's so poetic.
This is it, Clank. Let's get him.
Your wish is my command, Ratchet. This is Chairman Drekked, the final boss of the game. Mostly final enemy, but this actually kind of true that aspect. So just go to town on it early on. Missiles, atomic blast, punch the works.
You might have been useful to me after all. Too bad you chose the wrong side.
And of course, as every enemy or every villain ever has to do, Drekked has an unfair advantage that shrunk us back to our normal size, so much for Giant Clank. There's a Ganatron vendor here that we can use to refill ammunition, which is actually what I'm gonna do. And you know what? I developed a second weapon set specifically for this boss fight, so I need a minute, please. Probably not the most idealistic weapon set to go with, but this is the one that I came up with in the very end. Also, we're featuring weapons that we haven't seen in quite some time, like the Suck Cannon or the holy moly, the Mind Glove. How long has it been since we've seen that in action? I think it was the first time that I ever bought it back on Railgar, I believe. It's been a long time since we've seen that thing in action, but I really had no particular use for that. If you could use it to your advantage at any point after Railgar, then kudos to you. Personally, I know how to use for it, but I decided to bring it back just for this boss fight because it can damage enemies, and that's good enough for me in the case of fighting Chairman Drekked. So Chairman Drekked's got a plethora of attacks he's gonna use on us. You can see he's got his own bomb glove-ish weapons at work. That's the neat thing about this boss fight, is that Chairman Drekked has his own variations of weapons that we've been using through our adventure. We've known straight from the get-go that we will have felt it the first time that he's been keeping track of us. So it shouldn't be surprising that he's been studying on our moves, on our techniques, and what weapons that we've been using throughout our journey here. So it's really cool that he's actually come up with some of his own variations of the same weapons that we've been using throughout our entire adventure throughout the Solana Galaxy. For now, it's just rockets, which represent the Devastator, and that bomb cannon, which obviously represents the bomb glove. I'm gonna use the Devastator for now because the blaster's chipping away at his health a bit too slow. And of course, one Devastator rocket prompts its next sequence. Go figure. Okay, so after you shrink down his health to a certain point, he's gonna blast away that landscape with his own version of the Tesla claw, believe it or not. That's what our electric cannon is. You have more than enough time to gather all the gadget ammunition that you see before you're able to go to the next platform in this boss fight. Which is the one reason why I have the swing shot in my weapon set, just to traverse through this entire platforming segment. Now, technically you can use the PDA to your advantage should you lose too much ammunition. By the way, here's his version of the Mind Glove that he's using. So it's very apropos that I actually pulled out my Mind Glove as well for this fight. He's gonna clear it out anyways with his bomb cannon, so there's really no point in trying to be worried about that. So like I said before, you could use the PDA to your advantage should you lose too much ammo. I'm not gonna do that because, quite frankly, I find that too cheap. I'm gonna be with the ammunition I have and whatever I can find throughout this fight. But if you want to do that, if you're having too much trouble with this boss fight, then go right for it. I have no problems with that whatsoever. I actually have never done that method before because I most of the time forget about the PDA being a thing, even though it's very useful as a portable Gadgetron vendor. I guess I just don't have much use for it in the long run, because I always rely on the Gadgetron vendors, even though I should be using the PDA more often. Okay, Devastator Rocket here. Chip away at his health a bit more. It's also worth mentioning that after every platform that you go to, when you move during the fight, he's going to display a new attack. In the case of this particular part of this boss battle, Drekked unveiled his Mind Glove attack. And I think they might go in a specific pattern. We've been seeing here that he's been using the Mind Glove and then the Bomb Cannon. Okay, he's switching with the devs to the rockets at this time. So I guess it's all completely randomized. I think that's what it is. But like I said, I'm not too worried about those Mind Gloves because he'll clear them out on his own anyways thanks to his own Bomb Cannon. Which he should really think about in the long run. If he's running out of ammunition, he would probably be so screwed in terms of the mines right now. Okay, that Devastator is running low on ammo right now. I think I'll rely on my my blaster for now. Hopefully that'll chip down his health to a specific point soon. Yep, there it is. He's gonna blast away the landscape again. And that is once again our cue to haul ass to the next segment. It's worth mentioning that if you do die at any point during this fight, you have to start from the very beginning. And that includes Chairman Drekked blowing up the landscape whenever you shrink his health down to a sizable chunk. So do not die whatsoever, which is very evident for any game that you play ever. Okay, so now he's on that ring of rails, which is gonna be our last stop for this fight. There's that last platform that's gonna try to trick you out, so...
So it has come to this. Once I step on this ignition switch, a countdown will commence. The end of which signals the destruction of your pitiful world.
There must be another way to make a home for your people.
You think that's what this is about? Who do you think polluted our last world? I did. This is about one thing and one thing only. Cash, and lots of it. You see, I've been paid for every square inch of my new world. Once the inhabitants move in, I will begin polluting this world as well. Then the whole thing starts all over again. Ah, brilliant.
Why, you evil little...
Save it, Clank. We have to stop that timer.
Power slam that button to terminate the countdown. To power slam, jump and press R1 like we've learned previously. We've actually been seeing that come up a bit more as of late, which is surprising to me. And for his last attack, well, once you deactivate the countdown, German Drake's gonna come right at you. That's when coming into his grind rails comes into play. Grind away until he backs off, and also he's got his own version of the Agents of Doom. This is why I have the Sun Cannon out. You can actually suck these guys up and use it to counteract whatever Drek comes at, throws at you. Or even use that German Drek himself. He's got more than 5 he's gonna dispense, so that's something to keep in mind because of course our Sun Cannon capacity isn't the best. So this one's gonna bust out the drone device just in case those guys actually try to sneak up on me. I should probably save the Sun Cannon for later because I'm not that close to it right now. Like, get away from me. I also got something in my eye at the moment, so that's not good. Okay, I recovered. I think I'll have to bust out the Devastator again. I've got 5 rockets to it. Its name, jeez. Thankfully, use the bomb cannon at that time, so I can just jump at him and then fire away with no worries whatsoever. Chairman's got nowhere to run, so don't worry about him trying to escape again after you shrink down his health. This is the last destination for Chairman Drek. Think of it as his last stand, so to speak. Yeah, get with these stupid agents. At least his own version of the agents. The Ball Glove and Melee is probably not the best weapon to use because you gotta get really close to Chairman Drek to utilize it. Am I even using it right now? Oh, I can't because the stupid double jump thing is not working. I keep forgetting about that. Curse those freaking sequels that always make me think otherwise. Yeah, we'll use that. The blaster. Actually, the best weapon I actually use right now because he's a bit of a ways away, and I can use this without having to rely on like the double jump penalty thing. Thankfully, there's a bunch of ammo that spawns here every now and again, so be sure to keep these in mind in case you're running low. I'm not sure if your own Agents of Doom will be tall enough to get to Chairman Drek, so that's why I excluded them from this fight. Though they might be useful, you never know. They have proven me wrong before. I'll use the Tesla Claw on him for the time being. If you also get close to him, you can eliminate whatever mines they'll have displayed for you. And of course, that's not the last time we saw at the beginning of this particular portion of the fight that he'll try to activate the countdown. He'll do that several times throughout the fight, and then try to come at you when you do deactivate the countdown yourself. It's more of those pesky agents coming out. There can be a real nuisance throughout the fight, so get used to seeing them quite often. I'll use the Tesla Claw to eliminate the mines here for now. Alright, that should be enough. I'll use my blaster now since I reloaded on that some time ago. Actually losing quite a bit of health. Just as I say that, he has to activate the countdown again, I get hit. I really shouldn't jinx myself like that. I should know better. Come at me again. I hope there's a rail nearby. Yes, there is. Good. I can fire away at it while I'm at it. Also, worth mentioning that you should use the glide jump, or the stretch jump rather. I can never get those jumps on my backpack right. Use the stretch jump whenever Drek approaches you after deactivating the countdown. It's the fastest way to get away from him. Because he moves pretty fast when he does charge at you after you deactivate the countdown yourself. Okay, that's the rest of my blaster ammo for now. What should I use? What should I use? I'll bring out some drones just in case. Devastator's good. Okay, he's backing up for this particular attack, I think. No, he's actually the countdown again. There's one more attack that he hasn't used yet, but we've seen throughout the fight. It's not that, but that is very dangerous as well. He's launched his own rockets throughout the entire field. And this is present throughout the remainder of this boss fight. So be extremely careful of your surroundings here. Because they're gonna try to plant down onto the landscape every so often. And of course, if you're close enough, you will take damage. And now he's lining up for his Tesla Claw attack, where we see him used to destroy the landscape throughout this boss fight. But he can't do it here, but he's gonna try to use it against us. So just keep moving until he stops. Next, gonna use that to bomb cannon again. That will clear out any. Well, that will actually clear out the rockets. I thought it would. But I'm not really worried about those rockets at all. I'm just focused on destroying Chairman Drekked himself. I'll use a Tesla Claw here. Then I'll quick change back to Devastator since I know those two were the last two weapons I used. And the weapon has that stored in its little memory. There's more ammunition that's cropped up now. But he doesn't have that much health to work with. He's lining up for his Tesla Claw shot again. It's more like a plasma ray of sorts. I'm not sure what it is specifically. But from what I researched, it's kind of the equivalent to our Tesla Claw. Another good tip to avoid that attack is to use your stretch jump. In case you feel like running alone is not good enough for you. You shouldn't have that much health. I should have more than enough rockets to take him out. And almost there. Almost got him!
Ratchet?
What's up? You know, this time I am thinking what you're thinking.
Don't get off, get off. Get off, Ratchet. I was trying to be all silent and try to get to that switch all epic-like and such, but you have to ruin it by going on that rail. Thanks a lot, Ratchet. Thanks a ton.
This can't be good. Phew, that was close. Clank, you can pull us up now.
The servos in my arm appear to be broken.
Broken? As in, fall to our deaths broken?
Yes.
That was close. Thanks.
My arm appears to be badly damaged.
Ah, you'll be all right. Hey, Tin Can! Where do you think you're going? We, still need to fix that arm.
And thus begins one of the longest running partnerships in video game history. It also puts the end to Drekk's money-making scheme. So that's Ratchet and Clank. When I first thought through this project, I was actually really excited, like I said way back in the beginning, because I wasn't that nervous going into this, because I have played this game many times before, ever since I was just a little kid. I have enjoyed this game so much, as well as the series in general. But even after going through my whole kick last year and planning this whole game out, you could actually start to see the wrinkles this game has now. It could be just because of now the rest of the games are better, they introduced new mechanics. Hell, even the remake last year introduced some of the mechanics that are now commonplace in Ratchet and Clank that kind of makes this game's wrinkles a bit more obvious now. It's still a fun game in its own right, granted, but it has aged a bit since it first released back in 2002, but it does have an honor of being one of PlayStation's greatest hits for a reason, because it's a fun game, and is actually pretty short compared to some of the other titles that I play in the series. It's still a good game overall. I think it's still worth checking out, even though it has aged quite a bit since it first released. And holy crap, it must be like 15 years since entire franchise all it must be now. It's kind of hard to think about that. So my thoughts on this project is that I wasn't really concerned about this being very difficult to plan out, but I am still glad I was able to go through with it. I feel like I brought a different way to showcase this game in terms of a more strategic approach. Hence why I developed the whole weapon set idea. Is to make the game more streamlined in its gameplay, as well as showcasing some of the best weapons that would be suitable for that world, or heck, even the entire game. But I suggest testing out the weapons for yourself if you do play this game, because you never know what you might like and what you might dislike. Every gamer's gonna have their different tastes when it comes to using the weapons, and they're gonna favorite some more than others. You see what I favor more, depending on what I've used throughout the game. So it's worth experimenting a bit to see which weapons you gravitate to and which ones that you can cast on the wayside. So I'm really glad I thought that whole weapon set approach, because I want to present this game in a more strategic manner, which is really not what Ratchet and Clank's about, but I'm so glad I did it.
Do you have a problem with unwanted hair? Is painful itching in your nether regions causing you undue embarrassment? Do you just plain stink? Then you need this, the Gadgetron Personal Hygienator. Hi, I'm Steve McQuark, and this little baby can take care of any grooming needs that are just too much trouble for you to handle yourself. Allow me to demonstrate. Yeah. Oh, mommy.
Turn it off! Turn it off!
If you're worried about us getting that... wait a second. 29 out of 30 skill points? I thought I got them all. Which one am I missing? Oh my god, this is gonna drive me crazy now! I thought I got all the skill points. What happened? There's gotta be one that I missed out. I swore I got them all. Oh great, that's gonna be a real pain to go through. Oh brother. Okay, so after you beat the game, you have the option of time warping back to before you defeat Drek, which is what I'm gonna do. I was gonna do that anyways because I have some bonus episodes lined up that I want to create. But you can also start a new game with your current weapons and bolts. This is the new game plus of Ratchet and Clank, basically. And it's kind of tradition for the entire series. Whenever you defeat the final boss, you have the option to either time warp back to before facing that final boss, or start a new game plus with everything that you collected after your first time around. But what in the world did I miss? I know I got every single thing there is to get in the game. I followed my planner down to a T. I don't know what happened. There's something that I did cover that I just saved over. I don't know what happened. I'm gonna have to fix this because I'm not letting this go unfinished. Unfreaking believable. I know I got this skill point before. I have no idea what happened. The only logical explanation to this is that I must have saved over the file that I did get this skill point on the attempt with beforehand, because I know for a fact that I have this skill point on recording. I know I got it on camera. I have no idea what happened. I can't believe that I had to go through this entire thing again. Oh, that's so aggravating. Granted, it is a skill point that's not hard to get, but still, that is so stupid that this happened. That is so much better. Yes, I was that stingy enough to fight Chairman Drek again, just to get my 30 of 30 skill points total. Sometimes I just don't let things go too easily. So now we finally got all the skill points, for real this time, at least according to the game. We're gonna stop for today, because this was quite the finale I had to put together. Not how I expected things to go today, but it is what it is, I suppose. So next time on Ratchet and Clank, we're gonna kick off the bonus episodes, and I might start talking about what these gold weapons are. There's a lot we have to go through now that we have completed the main story of the game. There's a bit of post-game coverage that we have to go through, so we might be on this project for a little longer. Until we meet again, everyone. For now, and thanks for watching.